Hello, peoples of the internet. Today I will be attempting to create a comfortable, refined kind of city car. Something which people don't seem to like anymore. But I'm going to build one anyway. Hooray! I think we'll use this body. It's very, very practical. Not very pretty, no, but we're not going for that. Most city cars aren't very pretty anyway. So that's okay. This bumper's a little odd. I want to bring it kind of like a SUV, would you say? No, I don't really know what I'm trying to achieve, but it'll look good, whatever it is. I think that affects the back window, yeah, so we want that as high as possible. I know it's impractical, but it'll just look ridiculous if we have a back window that hangs down really low. We can have it almost straight up, though, because that's good for visibility and loading space. And since it's not the front of the car, it's not one of the main aerodynamic zones. Now, I'm thinking, I know I'm losing all my modifications by doing that, but a 5-door just doesn't seem to work with this shell, not in my eyes at least. So I feel we need to bring everything together like so. Now, we're not going to go with stupidly wide tyres or anything. That's going to be one of the things I'll do to make it comfortable. We can bring that up. I know it's not the most aerodynamic. It looks kind of like a Twingo, actually. The latest gen, that is. And it looks odd now, but I'm pretty sure when I've got the fixtures on, it'll work. I think we'll go for +2 quality. I know it's going to push the price up, but if we have to, we can come back and change this. Now, I'd normally just stick AHS steel on here, although we want it to be comfortable, so just making the chassis stiffer isn't going to be the solution. Corrosion is the main thing. We want low corrosion, and corrosion resistant steel seems to do that. Stiffness is average as opposed to high, but then as I said, I want it to be less stiff, so it's more comfortable. Front wheel drive is lighter, so we'll use that. And we can have double wishbones front and multi-link rear. It's actually similar to what Jaguar used in a lot of their cars these days. Pushrod is a firmly sporty suspension setup, so we can't use that. Is double wishbone better for loading space, I wonder? They're about the same, although I think multi-link is a little better. It's apparently very high for comfort though, whereas on double wishbone it's high, so we're going for as good comfort as we can. Now we want for material something we can mass produce. Going to make it out of aluminium, keep everything light, although that does mean a lot more weight is on the wheels, I guess, in comparison to the bodywork, but some things we'll just have to deal with. Now, because it's a comfortable car, we don't have to go with all the sporting touches, but man does that look crazy. We're going to go with some nice kind of cheery headlights, I feel. Headlights that should make people feel happy. They've got plastic around them. That will not do for our brand's premium image. We have to have lights with chrome around them. We have these ones. No, they're still plastic. Probably the ones I just went on. I'm not sure I like these, but they certainly look a little cheery. And we can get chrome around them. So if we make those a little larger. As I said though, Superminis are rarely very good looking cars. They're just here to give people an entry point into a brand. Mine is supposed to be all the car you will ever need though, because our company's special and I don't think they're buying our marketing strategy. We need to throw more money at the problem until it gets fixed. Now we need some exhausts. For some reason I'm doing this so early on, I don't even know why. Now, because it's not a sports car by any means, we'll just go with a single kind of chrome exhaust. Which side we have it on though, I'm not sure. I feel it should be on the right. Just so if you park up, you don't end up firing flames at people's legs on the curb. That looks okay, I think. Could move it out a little. There we go. I don't want it intersecting with the suspension though, and kind of winding up all over the place, so that's why I'm just trying to adjust it now. But then if I move it too far inwards, it might look a little silly. Now we're going for a grille. I feel something with a touch of class to it, if we can. Oh yes, look at this. It may look slightly messy, but I think it's cool. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that, but I'll keep it anyway. And then we can go with a badge, just atop the grille. Make it a little smaller so it actually fits where I want it to fit. It doesn't stretch out all over the place. And it's still doing it. Okay, just move that somewhere like that. And I think that's good enough. Close enough. It still stretches a little, but there's only so much I can do. Now we need some turning lights, I feel. And perhaps another lower grille. We can just steal the one off of Vauxhall Corsa for this, it'll work well enough. We're not going for excessive premiumness in the bodywork, just a little premium touch here and there. You'll see there's no chrome around the windows either. But we don't want to completely devoid it of chrome, do we? I don't know. I'm making that mistake the Germans always seem to make on their car. They just add a bit of chrome and then they de-chrome the rest of the car. And it all looks massively out of proportion to me. Now, where is that Corsa grille hiding? Is it this one? There's something here that's kind of invisible. No, it's not that one. Now, I feel that's the grille I need though, because it just fits with what I'm trying to do here, which is avoid giving the car excessive cooling. Now, what's this? I wonder if we made that smaller, how that would look. You know what, that doesn't look too bad actually. If we made that smaller, and hey, look at that, we already have indicators in the lights. Now I feel we need some aero, so we'll go with a lip. I think we'll just go with a standard body colour lip. It's not a fancy aero car, it's just we need the stability of positive downforce, but mainly the look, because it really goes down in what I feel is quite an awkward way at the bottom of the bumper. And it's really strange how you have to just keep stretching this thing out. I mean, you can't continuously do it, the game won't let you. And that is incredibly annoying, but we have to work around that limitation. I think that's about as good as we're going to get it. So there is our front end of the car. We need some indicators on the side as well. Can just have some little ones. Well no, actually we need chrome surrounds. We need to continue the theme. So I think we can get these with chrome. Yep, we can. For a little retro, but they should still work. I mean, they're turning lights. To be honest, most people probably won't care about something that tiny. Could actually make it smaller there. I would put them on the mirrors if I could, to be honest, anyway. And I would change more fixtures and things to be made out of chrome, but you can't do that. The game has its limitations. Now we need some tail lights, which I think would work. Could go with those, perhaps. How do they look if I lower them a little? Looks okay. So we'll put a badge on. And it kind of looks sporty, doesn't it? I mean, I could try and put a million different taillights on here, though. I generally struggle with the rears of cars. I've got pretty decent at the front. I mean, I can make something that doesn't look terrible, but the rears, I'm still not getting there. They are not growing on me at all, though, so I'll have to change them to something that will, perhaps, grow on me. Now, what else do we have that might work, I wonder? Ooh, I saw some just there. These ones might work. They're not really aggressive. If we can just rotate them a little. Yeah, I know it looks odd. And I don't really like that at all. Okay. Now, what else can we fit to this car? Ooh! They look very 90s. If we actually make them smaller... There we go. Still not sure I like them. But it now looks more cute than it looks angry, at least. And I think we've got everything we need. Other than door handles. Okay, handles. We need a touch of chrome here again. Can get these in full chrome, hooray! Maybe it is a little excessive, I don't know. It's just chrome and we need it. So I think I've done a decent enough job. If I could just get some chrome on the way, other than what I've got already, that would be a nice touch. So I think we need some indicators. No. And I've gone on the wrong menu and everything now, oh dear. Right, so I think they're what we want. Just put those down there. They add a nice touch of chrome and allow us to indicate. The reversing lights are built into the other lights, so that's okay. I don't think this is too bad. Really. It's not the prettiest car in the world, but nor should it have to be. It's about practicality and comfort. Again, as I've said, I'll lower the quality later if needs be. But for now I'm just using 2 and seeing if it comes out at a reasonable price. We can get some nice kind of deep blue here. If we could, that would be very nice. And it seemed to be lagging. Perhaps slightly more reflective. And there is our beautiful car. Admittedly, it should probably be a happy bright colour, but hey, I like me dark colours. Now in this case, we're making a magnesium engine that revs to the moon. I just see how much power I can get from this tiny block, and if it doesn't work, I'll have to change something. But I'm going absolutely crazy for now with a dual overhead cam, 5 valve per cylinder, tiny inline 3. Oh, I didn't have to make it smaller by as much as I thought. Before I was messing around and I actually found that the 5 valve per cylinder took up less space than the 4 valve per cylinder, crazy as it sounds. Not something I understand, but that's the way things are apparently. +2 on the quality, I think, same as a car. I know it's pricey, but I want a crazy, crazy Supermini. And I want it to make power. You can't turbo inline 3s yet, disappointingly. Try single point electronic fuel injection, we have to save money somewhere. If it doesn't work, I'll just stick direct injection on it. I mean, the engine's small enough that despite being practically a crazy race engine, it's still not going to cost a ridiculous amount. Just because there's less material involved in creation of the engine. And it's struggling for width and length. Hooray. High flow freeway for economy and reverse flow for refinement, which is very important in this car. And we'll give it a quick test. 51.9 horsepower. I'd be happy to leave it at that unless it has significant injection problems or something. And we can mess with all this stuff. So is high compression better for economy, I wonder? Apparently for slightly better economy, so if I can adjust that and then somehow get this timing to match. I mean, I'm happy with 60 horsepower from this, seriously. Although it's going to rev. It's really going to rev. I mean, it's never going to be a fast car. I'm not designing it for that. I can have a slightly crazy engine and all the better for it, but no point going over the top. So I think I can pull these figures up to give me 60 and then hopefully change the exhaust. This is far from the most complex engine I've built. Not even the most economical, as a matter of fact. But hey, it works. I am getting more and more power out of it, interestingly. So if I just lower that, which is apparently not good for economy, but it's only a very slight change. Check that to 86. So 62.5. I think I'm finding the balance now. Just adjust that. Yeah, 62.3. So the power was at its peak back down there. 62.9. That was good. Torque is pretty low. Hopefully it'll be enough to move the vehicle. 63.1. It does make power. And I've forgotten what I was doing, really. Like, I've forgotten which way I'm moving the sliders and things, which is craziness. There we go. I've found me power. Valve float is occurring. Yeah, it's to be expected when you rev it to 12,000 RPM. Surprisingly enough, it's actually when I lower the RPM and it runs into injection troubles. The top end is struggling though, so we don't want that. Try multi-point injection. Next. Oh, unless makes the engine bigger. I know it's a stupid way to fix a problem by throwing money at it, but hey, it means our engine still fits if I use throttle per cylinder. So I'm using that. And we're making loads of power. I guess that's part of a luxury, you get a great engine to go with your power, but there's only so much we can do to engineer this engine as good as it will go, I guess you can say. Right, new target, 70. Mind, having said that, it's not exactly hard to get 70. It's a tiny engine, but it's still brilliant. As a matter of fact, if I just go back and check what displacement it is, yeah, it is technically a key car engine. 660cc and below can count as a key car engine. Don't believe there's restrictions on cylinders or anything, so this is technically a key car engine, only it's more powerful than the regulation allows. I think they allow around 63, 64 horsepower. But it's very close. I mean, I could just as easily reduce the power, and that's not helped. However, it has actually helped with what I'm trying to do. I've got a bit more power out of it. Who would have thought? Like, I thought it was happy there. I mean, I remember it was at 2 or something, and I slightly raised it, and it gave me more power, like there. It looks like it likes a bigger exhaust. It makes more power with a 3.25, but then I adjust that, and it suddenly jumps up. That's incredible. More power and more torque, though, isn't a bad thing. I mean, if you're in the market for a new car, like a first car, it's not really going to be on your list. It's designed more for people who want a luxury kind of comfortable car, but they don't want to spend stupid amounts of money, and they don't want something that's stupidly complex and unreliable. And we've not adjusted the fuel mixture, but we're making the power easily, so we can just lower that. Yeah, still making 74, and that's better for economy. To be honest, that's actually still more than before I adjusted the exhaust, I think. Not bad at all. Torque is relatively strong. You can tell when the variable valve timing kind of kicks in there, though. Power is relatively smooth again, but it's not perfect. Still an inline 3. Now we've got valve floats. Just check again to see how the actual RPM limit works with it. Seems happy at 9600, 9700, 9800 even. So if we can slightly lower the RPM, I think we'll be good to go. Oh yes, if I can get this to work and still generate a fair amount of power. It jumped down to 9600 on here. That means I don't have to change ignition timing, and that's useful because it means we're not going to lose that much power. You lose more cam profile, I mean, but you lose more power messing with the cam profile normally. I mean, I know this isn't my finest moment in engineering, but I've made an engine that works and it doesn't explode. There we go, so it's not hitting the rev limiter really hard. No top end problems. The injection is working fine and it fits in the engine. I still think that's crazy though. Just the type of injection you're using alone is stopping the engine fitting in the car. I mean, if you want to work on this engine, it's going to be an absolute pain to get it out. Just let it run and see how it goes then. Okay, so there we go. Material cost is only $600 apparently. That's not too bad considering we've thrown pretty much every high-end technology available at it. But then that's why we use tiny engines, isn't it? I say tiny, look at how it's struggling to fit in there. No height concerns though apparently. I've just realised this kind of reminds me of a weird European version of a Honda N-Box. Fascinating, eh? Now, I'm thinking we could go with a manual, or would we be better with a sequential kind of dual clutch transmission? As I said, it's all about comfort and letting the car do its thing, but I think we want a manual. Perhaps we want less ratios though, so you don't have to feel inclined to shift quite as often. It'll make the car slower, but it will make it easier to handle and you don't have to shift all the time. So, it goes 88 miles per hour. That is a top speed I approve of. Yeah. Imagine if it had to go back to the future in one of these. I can't quite hit 88. We need to find a steep downwards incline, or we'll never make it. Now, I think we need a differential that's half decent for comfort, actually. So, for comfort, it's average there. I mean, I like the idea of just having a few extra premium bits here and there. So we either have vicious or electric. Being a smaller car, all these stuff are really cheap anyway. I think we'll just go with electric. It's the same for comfort as an open differential apparently. But you know, it's always going to give it that slight extra daring feel around corners. And it should make the car a little more fun to drive. And we don't want massive run flats on this. We can go with 225 17 inches. That would be pretty useful if we wanted to make a sports version, because they're not bad tyres. We'd probably flare the arches slightly even and get 235s, but we're not building the sports version here. We want smaller wheels. We want beefier tyres. Not really beefy though, mind. So that they wub on the archers. I think we want 165s. Remember, it's a small, light, basic vehicle. We don't need crazy wide tyres to put the power down. We just need the basics. We're not even winning 70 horsepower from this, if I remember correctly. So that'll work. 14-inch wheels seem about right. We might be able to go a little smaller, but they begin to look ridiculous, and the wallowiness of it would probably get quite ridiculous. Now, I feel like these kind of Ford Escort wheels might work. They're not the prettiest, but they look like what you might find on a smaller car. It's kind of OEM alloys. That's original equipment manufacturer, by the way. Now, we're not going with limited production carbon fibre wheels, but we will go with magnesium for lower unsprung weight and things. Actually, you know what? I don't mind these. I would normally not go with wheels like these, but in this particular case, since we're going for kind of premium, comfortable, luxury feeling Supermini, they don't actually look too out of place. Now, we're not going for carbon ceramics, but I think we'll go for 4-piston dented discs. We have to remember, we're not going really over the top. It's not a sports car, and we're going to tune them for comfort, as a matter of fact. But I think it's good to have the power. It's good to have the braking performance for in case you ever need it. Now, I think 195's on the way. We're going to have ABS, so it will help in that case to have that balancing out the brakes. Since there are only 1-piston brakes on the way, I think we can go with 215s. And what's the pricing we're looking at? 148, 408. So we've spent a bit more than perhaps we need to, but I like the feeling. I like to ensure that even with really rubbish tyres and narrow wheels, you can still get this thing slowed. Now we want a fully clad under tray with loads of downforce. Yeah, we'll adjust that later. And then we'll have to block off some of the events because... because... yeah, we don't need that much cooling. It's a nice efficient engine here, actually. We can save a little for the brakes. Unfortunately, we lose our crazy 88 mph top speed, though. I'm thinking we'll go with just 4 comfortable seats here instead of trying to pack 5 people into a body that really shouldn't be packing 5 people. And premium interior. I resist the desire to go with sport to save weight. We want premium infotainment. All the assists to keep you safe. Or do we? As I said, part of the point is to keep you in a comfortable car without you needing to go for crazy levels of electronics and things. I think we'll just go with ABS, perhaps power steering if we need it. ABS is very useful. I can't really see a desperate need for anything else, especially not when we've got a good differential. We shouldn't need traction control. Now, I think we'll go with hydro pneumatic suspension because Citroens use it. And we'll tune it for comfort. I mean, I believe Citroens which use this type of suspension are said to be quite comfortable. And yeah, I'm being really obsessive with checking that's done. But here we should have a pretty decent vehicle. Apparently it does 94 miles per hour, but again that needs changing. Yeah, it comes up as a kind of premium city car, which is exactly what I want. And it's time to check the other bits now, to make sure we're there. I'm happy with the engine. I mean, I could change the quality and everything. I'll have to consider that later with the pricing. For now, I'm happy with it. I think we're happy with that. Yeah, 96 miles per hour. For this kind of vehicle, that's not too bad. It's a little slower than I believe some of its competition would be, but then we do have the aerodynamics to adjust. If we check test track, we've got a lot of front downforce and negative rear downforce, and some of the quality isn't turned to its proper level. Okay, so I think if we lower that down, we might get closer to what we want. And 21.8 minus 50. Oh no, it's my mistake. I've just completely forgotten to add a wing. Okay. So, move on to this menu. I want a wing that doesn't look sporty though somehow. But just looks elegant, could I say? I'm feeling like I could have this on and then go down the sides and just make a really crazy looking wing. It won't even let me put that one on the back though. Ooh! Premium! I could just use this cheaty method of getting downforce on the car. But nah, let's not. Although the roof rack does give you downforce, I think. How does this look? Not too aggressive. And there's one more touch I actually want to add to this car. Once I've done the wing. There we go, can have a bit of chrome on it. Helps add the chrome to the rear. And I think it's a little too wide for that part of the car. Since it was just like sticking out in an awkward way. I think that works for me. And we need a sunroof as the luxury kind of touch. So we go on bonnet. And we'll find the sunroof. I believe this is like a canvas one you can open. Interesting. I don't think we want chrome around the sunroof. Don't want to take it too far. And that's the wrong way we're adjusting it. Just go with a simple sunroof. Should maintain rollover protection. Can have it a little wider, I think. And that's the length. There we go. Maybe not the most attractive sunroof in the world, but it'll let some extra light in to the interior. And I feel like we've got what we need here. We might even do better speed. I don't know. Just adjust this quickly. We have got vented discs though, so we shouldn't need too ridiculous amounts of cooling. Can bring that down to what's necessary. Just give it a little more cooling than is necessary to make sure it doesn't overheat. Now we need a little more, I think. Don't want it overheating if you for some reason tracked your economy car. And we've got 93.2 miles per hour top speed. But we do need to adjust the aero. So where were we looking? There we go, 3 kilograms and 14.9. So I'm thinking if we raise this and then we can perhaps lower downforce and see how that works. Once we've got it balanced out, that is. It's not very balanced as it is. No, I must resist pressing comfort on the suspension. So 55 on the way. Let's see how that lines up. Quite well, actually. So then we should be able to have that number lower. I just want what's just into positive downforce, so as opposed to crazy high amounts of track bias downforce. It's more for stability than anything. So there we go, we have a small amount of downforce. I can't really be bothered messing with it any more than I have. I'm just going to get this last number here right, and then I'll leave the aero as it is. 2.9, we still need to reduce that number. Ooh, really messes with it at times. So where were we looking? Don't want front bias aero, that is not good for stability. think we'll just have to leave it at 56. We're probably about as good as we're going to get it. 1.9 and 2.9. The car weighs 1100 kilograms, not too bad. 55% front weight. And 0 to 60 takes 17 seconds. Okay. Double check that's in comfort settings. I really get obsessive about this stuff, I know. I even remember pressing the button, but I have to do it again anyway. Now, double check that's correct. Yep, it is. And I think 94 will leave this at 32 miles per gallon. For what's essentially an entry-level VTEC, I don't think that's too bad. And by that I mean, like, a crazy high-revving engine. Ooh, and that really affects the speed. It has a minorly positive effect on the economy, but the speed... Now, how are you supposed to expect to drive a car with a post 16 second 0 to 60 time? I'm happy with 16 seconds though. I just don't want to go any higher than that. Yeah, what have I done? 16.4. It's a V1. It's got 16.4 in the name. Or in the description. I don't know. Right, until it goes over 1600, I'll just keep slowly adjusting it. We are reducing wheel spin. It's not got much wheel spin, mind. 3.1%. That's probably just a minor groan from the tyres. Okay, so what's the weight balance? If that's not changed, we don't have to readjust the suspension. Now it's 16 seconds 0 to 60. I don't think there's much point in me taking it round Nürburgring, to be entirely honest. It's a car with under 70 horsepower. It's never going to do that well, even with all the technology in the world attached to it. It's also not too economical, 32 miles per gallon, but as I've said, it is kind of like an entry-level Honda VTEC engine. It revs to stupid amounts. Now the pricing, I feel like I'm about correct. It is a little more than the Yaris, but then we have better technology in terms of suspension. We have, well, I think it's better in terms of suspension. And it's just an overall premium car. So I'm happy with this. I mean, I've hit the pricing I was targeting. And I've made a car that's also pretty comfortable. And I've made some profit out of that as well. So I think I'll just leave it at this. So we need to name our car. I think we're going to enter our brand name for starters. So we're going to call it British Automotive Luxury Engineering, or BAIL. If it's a non-luxury car, it's under the BAE brand, which is just British Automotive Engineering. The trim, we're going to call this Premium, or actually Premier, I think is probably the better name for some reason. Or actually SE, better still. SE always means it's better, it seems. Now the engine family can be whatever the capacity is. I need to just find that information. So if I can find it, 589cc, so we're going to call it 600 i3. I mean, it's a good engine for the size of vehicle and stuff. I mean, it's not huge, no, it's only 600cc's, but it does have a decent enough amount of torque to move it to 60 in only a few seconds, which is good enough for me. Now, the actual variant, we can call it 68.4. Let's just be honest about it. And there is our vehicle. if I can ever find it. So, also, standard infotainment, I want to change that because we don't want to add too many electronics and stuff. It's just things to go wrong, really. We'll add the fancy suspension, but that's it. So just give it a double check here. That's good. We've saved a little weight now. Perhaps increase the top speed a little. Increase the acceleration, definitely. So, with that, I'll say goodbye until another day.